All right, Pavan, we are live on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and on Periscope. What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Glad to be a part of the show. Rising early. It's 9 o'clock here on the West Coast. Got up, got my breakfast, got my showering, and we go to do this broadcast, man. It should be a good one.
Appreciate you being here, man. It's awesome stuff. Pulling up all the devices here. So when we go live, you're a streamer and a content creator, so you got to get all the chats up. You got to see everybody's doing.
Yeah.
You know the drill. So hope everyone's having a great Wednesday. I have to remind myself what day of the week it is.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have that problem.
Nah.
Yeah, so it's I have to.
A couple times when my schedule's been really messed up, but I'm on a great schedule right now, and every day wake up and get ready to work.
Absolutely. Well, as everybody starts popping in here, let us know where you guys are coming from. Again, across all platforms. Thank you all for being here. Want to dive in to the world of Madden, but before we do that, I'm going to give the floor to Pavan Lakhat.
Yeah.
You won the 2019 Madden Pro Series Championship last year. $100,000. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
Absolutely incredible. I think a lot of people, before I give you the floor, I don't think a lot of people even knew that happened. It really is incredible what's going on in that space and how it's grown so much over the years. And we'll dive into a little bit more, but I want to give you the floor first. Talk about yourself for a couple minutes and we'll go from there.
Sounds good. My name is Pavan Lakhat. I was born in Modesto, California, but I stay out here near Yuba City, California. It's near Sacramento. I'm 19 currently. Was born in the year 2000. What else can I say? I'm just a big fan of video games and a big fan of sports. So you could see where that crossover took over. Playing a lot of Madden growing up with my dad and my brother. Just passing around the sticks, having fun. To just watching NFL Sundays, watching my Raiders. Win, lose, whatever it was, we would be getting hyped and we would just, good times. So, being a Raiders fan, that's where, I represented the Raiders in my tournament run in Madden 19. But, I don't know what to say. I graduated in 2018. I've been playing a lot of Madden. I used to grind it out a lot, like during high school. And, there's some funny stories that, I would grind it out over homework a lot and all that. And, it ended up working out in the long run. I still got a lot of things to do, but, that's where I'm at right now. I'm currently 19. I already said that. And, this is, I believe, my third or fourth year playing competitive Madden. And, it's been really fun learning about a lot of things, meeting all the new players, going to different places, Dallas, Las Vegas, Orlando, places I don't think I would have been going to if it hadn't been for playing competitive Madden. So that's where I'm at right now.
That's very cool, man. It is such an awesome story. I really want to pick apart some things. So when did you start playing Madden?
I started playing Madden just for fun in Madden 15. So I believe I was a sophomore in high school, my second semester sophomore. And I was 14 at the time and I was playing Madden 15. And, at first I had no idea what was going on. I just played it because I was a big sports fan and I saw other people on Twitch playing it and ended up turning out into, how could I watch YouTube videos to get better? How could I watch Twitch to get better? Oh, what are these money plays? What are those money plays? How do I play better defense? How do I get a better user? Little things like that. And, I've always had a little competitive nature in me. And, I didn't really play sports in high school or even before high school and junior high. I decided, that this could be my sport, and it is considered an e-sport. It is a sport. And, look where it's at now. It's only growing, man.
Yeah, it really is incredible, the opportunities available. And I think, again, we have a lot of conversations kind of like what mainstream thinks is happening with some of these scenes or the lack thereof happening. I think there's a lot of education that needs to be thrown out there. Like, this is a real thing.
Yeah,
like Madden is absolutely real. And like you mentioned, the opportunity for someone that's in the space that may, on the traditional sports side, may have not connected with the traditional sport, but this is a sport, and it gives you an opportunity you may not otherwise have had. So I think it's really cool to kind of dive into those different stories. So you won this, man. So 18 years old, right? And you won last year.
18. Yeah.
When you won this tournament, when you won the series, you were 18 years old. and you won when you won $100,000. Can you walk me through that tournament, that process? Like, was there nerves? I mean, were you ice cold? Like, this is what what you do? Like, go through that experience.
Yeah, I got you. So coming up, like, it was probably the past 2 to 1 month before the tournament, I was on the game heavy, maybe 8 to 10 hours a day. It was a little unhealthy, and that's some of the side that you don't see a lot, but or that you're known to see a lot. But now I know I have a schedule, take care of myself. At the time I was too, I just out of high school, nothing severe happened or anything, but I was on the game heavy, 8 to 10 hours a time. I knew I was getting ready for this tournament. I knew the year prior I had actually made the final 32 of this tournament, then lost. But this year I was ready to make a deeper run. The guy I lost to, his name is Problem Right. They call him the GO in Madden. I lost to him Madden 18 the year prior. He had knocked me out. And this tournament, he wasn't in there. So I was feeling more juiced, just ready to go, knowing I can make this deep tournament run, knowing that there was no one, that I should be afraid of. And, going there, it was in Redwood City. I won my first game, ended up winning that by a little bit. I was nervous the first game. I will always say, this is something I like to say a lot, that first game of a tournament is always the hardest. No matter who it is, you're nervous, you haven't played, you might be a little rusty. That's how I felt. But after that, I got some momentum, knocked off the other players. So it was the Chiefs and Broncos, 2 players in the Raiders division. I beat them both and went into the round of 8. The round of 8. And at that time, I was playing a juggernaut. His name is Joke. He's a very known Madden player. He's all over the Twitter scene, and he's just very known. I honestly had thought I was going to lose this game because I was just a rookie, kind of not necessarily the rookie, but very young player in the game, and he's been a veteran for a long time. And everyone was kind of knocking me off and just like calling it like, oh, Joke's going to win or whatever.
Yeah.
And that underdog story kind of got to me, and I felt like I was an underdog, and I embraced that. I love being an underdog, and I learned that now. I love being an underdog, and I ended up winning that game. And I knew at that time, after I won that game, now I could win it all. So after winning that game, I was at $40,000 in the Final Four, and I had to play someone named Blocky. He was also a great player, but the offense he was running, I had been playing a lot, and my defense helped me out tremendously, and I won that game. And then obviously the final matchup, I ended up blowing Ryan out. I want to say blowing him out, but it was just like a good win for me, and it just wrapped it all off. And honestly, there were no nerves. I was listening to a lot of music, chewing a lot of gum.
I saw that. One thing, I saw that. One thing though is that you stopped chewing gum in the final game.
Oh yeah, right? I think I either ran out or something happened, or I don't know. Like when you chew too much gum in a day, you're like, oh, I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like the taste is whatever. Like there's too much sugar, whatever. I don't know what happened, but obviously that didn't matter. Like I guess I kind of superstitious, but I don't want to believe in the superstition. So. It didn't take place there, thankfully. But
yeah, even the announcers said. I mean,
I remember that. Yeah,
it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
What an awesome run! You got to school me a little bit in Madden. So let me give you my experience in Madden.
Mm-hmm.
Madden 95, Madden 96, Madden 97. That's like my heyday. Like that is played with. I used to play with my uncle and my dad. Like we used to play all the time back in the day. Like, so I'm an old school retro Madden guy. So not so much these days, right?
Yeah.
So I have a lot to learn from you, and I know a lot of people listening can learn a lot from you. But you said something about divisions, and you represent the Oakland Raiders. Can you talk a little bit about that? What that even means?
Of course. In that specific tournament, it's called the Club Series tournament, and I guess 32 different clubs, aka 32 different teams. To get to that point is you have to qualify, and there would be 4 players per team. So for me, there was 3 different players trying to represent the Raiders club at that time. It was about 2 weeks prior to the main final 32 tournament, and that goes on for every team. So everyone has to represent their own team by beating 2 other players from that are trying to represent that team. So once you get that done, and I know it could sound a little confusing, but once that happens, you get put into the round of 32 where each player is representing one single team. So I'm representing the Raiders. I said earlier, Problem Right knocked me out in the year prior. He was representing the Chargers that year. So and then it goes from division to then conference. the Raiders, I won my first game. I played the Chiefs representative. After I beat that guy, I ended up playing the Broncos representative. And then after that, we went from AFC West to play as the AFC North. So I had to play the the Browns representative. And then after that, I played the Dolphins representative. And then after beating all the AFC opponents, I had to play one final game, which, I guess Super Bowl type of thing, championship game, and that was the Vikings representative. So that's kind of how it works. It's a little confusing, but, it makes a lot of sense. And, real NFL fans, when they get into it, the NFL, when they get into it, it's going to be like, oh, he's a Raiders representative. Let's go. Let's root for this guy. Oh, he's a Niners representative. Let's go. Let's root for this guy type of thing. And, that's very cool to me. I love that. And, I hope the club series goes on for a million years.
Yeah, talk about that brand crossover and what the NFL has done with Madden over the years and how it's changed. And I know we talked a bit like how it's going to look in the next couple of years.
Oh, most definitely. They often do a lot of commercials, and this year specifically, they've picked up the game a lot. They're bringing a lot of pros on to play and do these commercials. I noticed a lot of EA Madden NFL commercials where they'll bring in rookie QBs to. One specific one was, I think it was Kyler Murray, and he was trying to break down a cover 3 defense, and it was like a commercial or Instagram video, and like those type of things are happening a lot. And the crossover is becoming real. I know a lot of NFL pros that play Madden. One to be specific is Joe Mixon for the Bengals. He's a great running back, and he plays a lot of Madden, and those crossovers are real. But only time could tell what the real deal will be like.
And there's so much room for growth, obviously, like you said. I think one of the things you said was it's not slowing down. Like you just don't see that like you said, that crossover and that cross pollination between the two. It obviously just makes perfect sense. Now, how did you get involved? Now you're a Raiders fan.
Yeah. So
that's like the perfect dream, isn't it? Like
of course,
you're being represented by the Raiders. That's amazing. So how did that happen?
How did me qualifying for the Raiders and all that?
Yeah.
So basically, like I said, the year prior, I chose the Raiders Club Series at that time. So Madden 18 was the first year they opened it up to, if you're under 18, you could bring your parent to go, and they'll like be your guardian. You could qualify and compete in these tournaments. Before that, it was always 18 plus. So at that time, Madden 18, I was 17. And it came out of nowhere. The news came out of nowhere, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get on my thing, get on my stuff, and just lab up a lot, because I really want to represent these Raiders. I at least want to make the Final Four, which was in Orlando that year. And when I made that Final Four, I knew like, okay, now that I got that done, I put that to the side. I gotta lab up a lot and just continue to play. And I really want to be that Raiders representative, because I'm a Raiders fan, and that's like kind of like the most I could do as a Raiders fan to put the Raiders on the map type of thing, and just make them proud and represent them well. And end up doing that the next year, and I end up doing that this year. So the past 3 years I've been the Raiders representative, and I take a lot of pride in that. And the Raiders have taken notice. They follow me on Instagram, they follow me on Twitter. And, sometimes they comment on my things, or just notice my comments. And, that's a dream come true, man. But we got more to fulfill.
I mean, I'm sitting here just smiling like ear to ear, like,
yeah,
the Raiders are following you. Like the Raiders are, watching your experience and what you're going through, and you're repping them.
Yeah, of course.
This is really cool. That's really cool. Well, hey, jump into chat. Let us know if you have questions for Pavan. Really awesome experience. We have a lot more to get to for sure, but would love to go over questions and comments you have. Landon's actually an esports performance coach consultant. He has a question for you. We talked about it a little bit, but he'd love to hear how you handle the performance anxiety of big competitions.
Landon, that's a great question. Often before the tournament, I will get some jitters, some nerves. I love to comfort myself with some comforting music. Not comforting to me, like music I'm familiar with. And, I'll chew gum a lot. I guess they say gum and chew enhances your performance in some things, especially in the mental game. And, if you're winning the mental game, you can win that, just the Madden game. So that's what 2 things I love to do: chew gum and listen to a lot of music before the game, and just whenever I can. And when I get load up into the game, and I sense the other opponent might be a little nervous, that kind of makes me calm down. And because I've been on that stage, I don't really get nervous often when I sit in the seat. Before, trust me, I will get nervous, but when I actually sit down in the seat and load up, I feel like I'm at home, and I got all my family watching back home, and they're just rooting me on. And I play my best game always. I could always say that I always play my best game at one of these tournaments, and that's something I'm proud of. What win or lose, I'll always play one of my best, and I won't let nerves determine how I play.
You mentioned kind of your opponents. How do you get a read on your opponent? Because I think there's so many levels to that.
I don't know. You could just kind of sense it a little bit in the in the corner, and you could also just look at how their body expression is. If they're kind of like moving around anxiously, if they're kind of moving their hands a little bit, like probably tapping their hands, maybe if they're just looking around a lot, like I said, or if they just have a body language that they're kind of nervous, they haven't been here yet, whereas I've been there, or just in general, they're kind of just maybe if they've been there, they're just a little nervous. I kind of like to feed off that, but I feel like when you're there, you could tell.
Right. It's really fascinating. So a lot of my time on the traditional sports side has been in wrestling, and I talked to you a little bit about that, and getting a read on, the whole situation, the coaches, the other wrestlers, how they're breathing, what are they doing pre-match. There's so many layers to it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the same thing. And I had this argument, the traditional and esports side, it's the same thing. It's the same type of mental preparation.
Competition is a competition, man. Yeah. It's the same, all mental, and then you got to do your physical, as in, playing the game, or, whether it's wrestling, whatever, it's definitely all the same.
Yeah, so Landon went on to say that he loves the gum strategy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta you find your own little niche. You find your own little world. I had my own little routine I did. I got away from everyone. Everyone's a little bit now. Some people, like to be around others and things like that. But you got, like you said, you got to have to find your routine, not to be necessarily superstitious, but to get comfortable.
No, I definitely agree with that a lot. Everyone's different. Everyone's going to have their thing. Me, for sure, is chewing gum, listening to music. And I love what you said. Everyone, just when they go through that process, they're going to find their thing for sure.
And on the coaching side, again, as you said, every kid or athlete is different. And that their triggers are different, things like that. Like one little word will throw them off. I've done it for years.
Wow.
So it's very important some of you have to get in their face a little bit.
Yeah.
Some you have to have more positive reinforcement. And that's that relationship between coach and player, which I'd like to kind of go this. Do you have a mental coach? How does all that work in the space? Do other players have coaches? And how do you see that?
There's no coaches as of now. You just have your friends or supporters. I would say I am my own coach. Whenever the mental gets a little rough, I'll compose myself, and it's kind of before the calm before the storm. When I'm loading into the game, when I'm ready to we're about to take off for battle, when both of us are about to clash it out, I'm talking to myself low key, it's just like the voice in my head. It's like, okay, we're about to do this. Everything's gonna be all right. If you know this guy's about to lose, throw water on him, as in if you see a man drowning, you throw water on him type of mentality. And that's my type of mental game for sure. And then the music talking to me, some of the lyrics I can relate to a lot. It's just a bunch of hype and get ready because you're going into battle.
So far in your experience, it's been yourself. You are self-coached essentially.
Yeah, I feel like I could say that. And then obviously my dad and my brother, I wouldn't say they're coaching, but they're just positive. And I look back and oh, I am doing this for my family. Before I'm doing it for myself, I'm always going to do it for my family.
Gotcha. I appreciate sharing that from a pro's perspective, in hearing that, because I think there's a lot of ideas and concepts, and here's what pros need, here's what they don't need. But it's also good to hear from the perspective of an actual player that's been on the stage, that's been in those situations. What's also interesting is, different scenes are gravitating towards different things. As far as different titles, different scenes are looking at performance coaching. looking at the health and fitness side of things. What is just your general take on the health and fitness for yourself?
I feel like health and fitness, especially mental health, is a big thing, man. Sometimes playing these Madden games, these long hours, being inside this room, you need to go out, get some fresh air, get the sunlight on you, or go in the gym, stretch it out, hit the weights, sweat it out. You don't really, that's something I've worked on a lot in the past year. Before I would, I mean, it goes both ways. Staying in here, definitely you get better at the game, and you get more reps. But at the end of the day, like if I'm going to the gym and I'm getting my great workout in as I have been, and then also I'll feel really great after the workout, and I'll get back in that competitive mode, and I'll just go home and crush it on the sticks, or attempt to crush it. That's always the best thing you could do. Have that mental, and then let it translate into the game. I know a lot of players, like I said, 6 to 10 hours. I've kind of cut it down a lot this year, but it's not like for any necessary reason. It's just like how my schedule's been. I'm streaming a lot more, and that kind of ties into it too. But for sure, you got to get your mental and your physical fitness on point while you're gaming it out. You got to take care of yourself, because no one else is going to take care of you.
Do you think that got you to the next level last year?
Last year I wasn't necessarily doing that too much.
Okay.
That's something I was doing more this year, and it's just I wanted to look more physical, add some pounds, to hit the weight, just do something new, and I said this a couple minutes back, like whenever I'm out of the gym, I feel great, and I feel like I want to just blow someone out when I get back home and play the game. So that helps out a lot, feeding that competitive fire always. And, what better way to do it by killing it in the gym and coming back home and killing it on the stick. So that's something I could for sure say. I like doing it a lot.
The word always comes to mind is balance. and this goes into, and you are in the business world as well, because you're a content creator. Right. That's another layer that you've added to what you're doing, which is really cool. I want to talk about that in a little bit, but it is about balance, because here's the thing, as far as just in your situation, you can overtrain yourself.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And burnout. And I'd like to get your take on that in a second. Yeah. I'd like to talk about that in just a second, but like you have to have that balance between those things, because just on the physical side. So just on fitness, right? There's literally a term called overtraining. Like that's not a hyperbole. Like that is an actual training in the exercise science world. You can overtrain yourself physically, and your body starts to shut down. So we talked about this a lot on the stream, is that anything in excess, almost anything in excess, can be bad.
Yeah, most definitely. So for that and in training, I could agree. I mean, if you're winning every game and you're just blowing people out, it's not going to take effect. But if you're one day you're up, then one day you're down, then one day, the next day you're down, and then the one day you're up, it's going to be like, okay, what's going on? I can't find my groove. You're going to feel like, I don't know if you're overtraining, or, you're not seeing the proper results. So sometimes when, it's going back and forth, or even when I'm just, I could say for sure, I've had those days where I just keep losing and I keep losing. I'll just not keep going. I'll leave it for the next day or the day after. I'll take a step outside, enjoy the nature, or just look at the sun. That's why it's so beautiful about California. It's always pretty much sunny out here. Or just go to the gym and just get my mind off it. I for sure. There's some online tournament games this year, and my friend Sahil can vouch for that. When I lost those games, I was devastated. I was heartbroken, because this is my passion, this is my love. But I can't let it dwell on me. Otherwise, I'm just gonna end up, delaying my content, or vice versa, not getting back in the practice room, in the lab. They like to call it the lab, in the practice mode in the lab. But I don't let it dwell on me too much. I'll just go straight to the gym and get my mind off it, and everything is back to normal when I come back. It obviously is still gonna hurt, but I'll feel way more better than I did. Probably like 2-3 hours before. So yeah, that doesn't kind of tie to your overtraining type of thing, but there are days where you can overtrain, and that's if you're losing a lot, or if you just play too much and you haven't seen one thing or, if you practice way more for one thing compared to another thing type of thing, for sure.
And it's the same thing in business. There's business burnout. There's burnout with anything. And if you don't have that balance, that you're at risk of going through that.
Yeah.
And I think we've all experienced some level of burnout.
Of course.
Because we are pushing ourselves in many different areas of life, right? And you're always pushing the edge. And sometimes you have to step back to take a step forward, essentially.
Oh yeah, that's great.
And then like I know and we have our own thing, like you said, you do your own thing. You step away and go do your thing. Like your thing is go to the gym, right? Like and then like it's so funny how wrestling wrestling allows you. To me, it was one of those you let go, and like after there's like I don't know. There's for me, and it's just for me, but like wrestling or get after the session. There's no better feeling because it's like you've just cleared yourself.
Oh yeah,
and like your mind is like
I can imagine, yeah.
So and we've talked about that off air a little bit. So I don't know, having that balance is just crucial, and it resets yourself to get back into the regimen of what you need to do to be at an elite level, because you're playing obviously at an elite level.
Yeah.
When again, first prize for the whole thing was $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
So people come ready to play.
They want to play. That is the biggest tournament each year. So, that is kind of like this is the biggest prize you're going to get. Lock in and do what you have to do. This is the cream of the crop. This is the icing on the cake. You want to take that. And, every year obviously every tournament I'm going to try like that. But winning that already, that kind of have like a chip on my shoulder. Like that belt's mine once. I could do it anytime again.
Where is the belt?
It's back there. I'm probably gonna put it up there. We're gonna figure it out. We're kind of early into the year. It's March already, kind of insane. But we're gonna get a nice studio setup for me. This setup I have right now is pretty good, but I don't know. I feel like you can see everything, but it's not a bad thing. But we're gonna definitely fix it up and have a belt showing where it's like on the wall, and it's gonna look great.
Yeah, I was just curious what the belt was.
Yeah, it's back there. I mean, do you want to see it? I could go get it if you want.
Yeah, we're gonna grab a couple questions. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, okay.
Hit the emotes, guys. Like, let us know if you want to see the belt. Like, surely.
Yeah, I can go grab it real quick. It's a little heavy, but I can show up for sure.
Yeah, you can step up. It's your workout for the day. Go get it. Yeah. Yeah. So let's grab a couple more questions when Pavan comes back. But yeah, we definitely want to see the belt, right? I would definitely think so.
So
yeah, we're gonna ask. Yeah,
for this big case, and trust me,
that's awesome.
At the time when I got the belt, I was very I wouldn't say weak. I was just smaller, and it was like I was carrying it so funny, like it was so heavy for me. But now I could just carry it with one hand, walk around. Let me try to maneuver this.
Let's see this.
Yeah.
This is like an unboxing.
It pretty much is. It comes with this velvet type of thing right here, so it's very nice. And then here's what you guys want to see. This is the belt itself. It's pretty nice, man. It has jewels on it, diamonds, whatever, and it's just a memory.
That's so bad. That is awesome. That is so.
The lighting is kind of in the way, but you get the memo. You get this stuff. There's like a couple things right here. The player who was on the game last year, Antonio Brown. So that's pretty cool.
That is
right here, the club championship.
Yeah, AB on it. Like that's
that's
awesome.
Pretty nuts.
That's awesome. I appreciate. Yeah. Heck, you had to go to the gym so you could hold your belt.
Yeah, so. Exactly.
That's what happened.
I was thinking next time I get a belt, I'm gonna need to hold both them up. So I need to hit the weights.
For real. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I'm sure everyone appreciated that. Thanks for pulling that out there. Let's grab some questions. Let's grab some questions here in chat. Hope you guys, again, doing well. Some other people popping in here. Let's go to YouTube. We have a question on YouTube. Julio Romero is asking, how has streaming helped you in perspective to when you play in tournaments?
1 second. I'll answer that when I put this.
Yeah, because we're going to get into your content creation and your vlog and everything you're doing, which is really cool on YouTube and Twitch. So, we're going to answer Julio's question here. Go ahead and type in the questions. We're going to get to these questions, guys. So go ahead and type them in, and we'll get to it. We're going to blast right through these. Yeah, so let me repeat this question from Julio Romero on YouTube. How has streaming helped you in perspective to when you play in tournaments?
So at first I wasn't a big streamer at all. I would often hide a lot of my good plays and stuff. That's the tactic a lot of people do, and it is helpful. But this way, streaming, you can still hide some things and show the things that people have already seen. So I would say streaming has kind of put me in a thing where, okay, I already know the Twitch chat is watching me. It's kind of like an audience, and I've had those games where I play competitive people, and it's a high stakes game, and it's a entertaining game, and like a lot is on the line with a bunch of people watching. So, you know, doing that and playing that kind of makes you, you know, oh, I could play in the pressure, I could play in these scenes. So I guess, yeah, I could say when the stakes are high, I already know, like, I'm used to that pressure, and streaming is like that, makes you feel like every game is kind of like that. And plus just the stream itself, you know, you get some supporters out of it. Not some, you get a lot of supporters from your stream. I have great supporters. I started streaming at the first of the year, so January 1st, and I've got a lot of Twitch subs, a lot of supporters, a lot of followers. And I know when I'm playing in the tournaments, they're going to have my back. So that's just more people to add to the people I already have supporting and rooting me on. So, you know, that's great.
That's awesome, man. Again, you're just adding another layer to your experience and building a community around you and that support. You know, in the days that are hard, that are tough, that you know, some days are tougher than others.
Of course.
Has that helped you with the community?
Some days, yeah, I'm not feeling it. You know, I'm not feeling myself, and I'll just turn on the stream and, you know, get some good numbers. And by the time it's over with, you know, 3 to 4 hours have already gone by, and you know, it doesn't feel like that because you're having fun, and you know, you're just playing the game you love, and you know, talking to people you really mess with and that support you and you support them. And you know, when some days are, obviously you said it best, some days are harder than other. Every day, like, I feel, whenever I feel like that, I just turn on the stream, you know, and I just feel instantly better just seeing all these supporters, and you know, that gets me my mind off whatever, you know, is bugging me at that time.
And again, the word community, you see the same faces, you know, you see, you know, they're there supporting you, all the questions that come in, and just the support and pushing you to, you know, it's better, sometimes, you know, and it can be very lonely.
Yeah.
I think it sometimes content creation, well, let me go back. So when you're grinding, you know, in the grinding hours by, you know, potentially by yourself, if you're not streaming, because you've done it to where it was just you, right? But then also if you have a community behind you, I don't know, it just adds that other support and that layer.
Going back on what you said by yourself, I have a Discord full of friends. So I didn't mention this before. I actually got a lot of help when I won the belt. I got a lot of help from Henry and Alan. Those are younger guys. Henry's on the stage a lot now, and like this has been his year. He's been competing a lot and winning a lot of not winning a lot of tournaments, but making it far in these tournaments. That's my guy, Henry and Alan. They helped me tremendously when I made that run in the club series. Those are my guys. Those are basically like my lab partners. So, you know, I learned a lot from them, and they helped me out a lot. But you know, it goes back and forth. You know, I help them, they help me. And those guys I grind with a lot. Like when I'm off stream, those are the guys I grind with and talk to a lot. And just when I'm not even playing the game, I'll talk to them and just, you know, kick jokes, or just, you know, watch a stream, watch this guy play someone on stream, and observe and take notes type of thing. So, yeah.
It's funny because Charles had a question. He says, I remember pros in Madden love to go labbing. What does that entail? So I think you've went through what the lab is.
Yeah. So labbing basically is like the countless hours, like you're a mad scientist, you're in the laboratory. Oh, I found something. This is going to be the next level offense. This is going to be the next level defense. And, you know, you're just in the late hours. Usually it's going to be like, you know, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock or type of thing. That's when you know you actually got something cooking up. I've been there. I've done that. So a story I like to say is I wasn't having any success getting any stops on defense. Like about 2 months prior to me winning the belt, and I decided to just, you know, watch some gameplay, watch some, you know, footage, and I saw this defense that I liked a lot, and it was a defense I was already comfortable with, just a different setup, and no one was running it at the time, so I'm like, all right, let me try this out. And then I went out and practiced, and I tried it out a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ask Henry or Alan to play, at first, I don't know which one I was playing first. But whoever I was playing first, they were like, all right, bro, this is not going to work. 2 minutes later, he's getting sacked every play. And he's like, all right, what did you find? Like, you're so like, why did you do this? Now everyone's going to run it, but we hit it. And it turned out to be the 100K defense, the 3-3-5 that people know. And, you know, it was just so funny because, like, they were doubting it at first. And then 5 minutes later, they're both running it. They're both running it back on me. And, you know, that's the type of thing I live for, man.
Proving the doubters wrong, like almost them telling you, like, oh, it's not going to work. It makes you push more.
Oh, yeah. I love that type of thing, man. I love that. That's, like, one of my favorite things to do. That with the underdog, those are my two favorite things, man. Like, when the doubters, you know, doubt, and then when people are calling you to the underdog, or just, you know, whenever there's doubt, I rise up.
I always had more energy in events that were away. So wrestling meets that were away, like someone else's place, like 2 hours away, like no one's around, and if they're all up, you're screaming, like, I mean, I'll never ever forget.
Want to shut them up, huh?
Yeah, man. Like they're all like, long story short, like almost got upset like, when I was a senior in high school, and like all their fans were up, they were throwing stuff because it was like top teams in the state. And like we were 2 hours away from home, like no one was there.
Not comfortable and just
I'm just like, because I went for, you know, a high risk situation and I was on my back and almost got pinned, like we talked about wrestling. And I see people just, I mean, I just like you don't even know what happened.
Yeah.
You know, and there's situations like that where you're like, I don't even know how we got here.
That's how I feel in Madden all the time. Like, how am I losing this game type of thing. That's what people say a lot when you feel like you're dominating, you're grooving, you're in a groove or whatever. You're like, okay. Yeah, I look up on the scoreboard. How am I losing? Yeah.
So I'm there on my back, and I see popcorn flying. I mean, they are like this was not supposed to happen. This was a huge when
things go wrong type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just went blank. I went dark, and just like somehow got to my feet, got a single leg, took him to his back, stuck him, like just like that, and they all sat down.
Wow. In a matter of how many seconds you were
it's about 20, 25 seconds. Wow. It was just like, boom, I was on my back. I'm like, what is happening? And this is not supposed to be happening.
Adrenaline rush.
Right now, my veins are exploding talking about it. But you know what's awesome? We're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Me and you right now are vibing on the same experience. Yeah. Right? But on the traditional and the esports side. And I hope people are watching this because this is real. The esports side is real, and I love this connection and sharing this with you because it's the same thing. People need to understand that don't get it. So sorry, I get a little passionate on
I mean, I'm over here getting passionate as well. You know,
it's a big deal. It's a big, you know. So anyway, so I got my back, got a single leg, and stuck him. And I feel bad saying this was actually funny, you know, because the adrenaline, because you get the adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
And sometimes you may do things you shouldn't do right now.
Oh, happens in Madden.
Popping off. In Smash they call it popping off.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what
Madden. I don't know what the term would be in Madden, but I could tell you a numerous amount of things I have done off adrenaline rush. Some stupid, majority of them stupid, and I wouldn't do it again. But
it happened, you know, and all the fans went. They all sat down, you know, they were just like this, and I stepped over him. Like he was on his back, and I stepped over him. It was bad.
And you pulled the Kobe on.
I think I got a team point taken away, you know. But it was just really heated, you know, top 3 teams, you know, and it was just a lot.
I meant to say.
Anyway, so sorry for like storytelling, guys, but I'm just saying. But we were telling the story together because you've been through those situations as well, those high pressure, emotional spots. Yeah. You know, so just trying to paint a picture there. So, all right, guys, well, I'm going to jump into these questions because we've got a lot flying in here. I want to make sure we get to these. Let's go to Sahil. What's going on, man? So when did you decide to go all in on Madden?
Shout out to Sahil. This is my right-hand man. This is my guy who helps me out with social media. He's my guy. But when did what was the question again? When did I decide to go all in on Madden? I believe this was after I won I was originally $5,000 from the Madden 18 tournament, the final 32 Club Series one. The year before I won the main one, I decided to I'm just gonna spend a lot of time on this. I was still a senior at that time, so but thankfully, you know, it's crazy how looking back, you always notice how did these things work out like so perfectly. At that time, I had a reduced schedule, which is basically they cut 2 periods off of me. it was 2 periods and a lunch. So I was getting home at 12 o'clock every day, the second semester of senior year. And that time was all on Madden, and that time was all on watching Twitch, and that time was all on just, learning the ins and outs of how the Madden business works, and like how the Madden competitors play, and just overall just like taking it in. What do I need to do to be that level? And also watching these guys at tournaments, because at that time I only made 1 tournament, and then there were still a majority of tournaments going on for the rest of the year that I wasn't able to. I didn't qualify for due to, that was just I only played 1 tournament. So yeah, senior year for sure. Second semester is when I decided to go all in. I spent a lot of hours, and I'm thankful, that was all just pure passion and just pure innocence, not knowing what was going to occur, just get grinding. That's pure grind right there. So
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool. Because and you mentioned like consuming, which is really interesting. Like you consumed a lot.
Oh, of course. This is a good advice. This is something I say a lot. If you want to be like, I get a lot of questions often. How do you get so good at Madden? How do you become a pro, Madden pro? How do you put these hours in? First thing first, if you're like not comfortable where your game is at, go on Twitch. I know people call this lurking. I call it just observing, and just it's a C league do like the NFL. They say if you see it, you do it type of league in the NFL, and it's crazy because it translates to esports. Often people see people running this specific play or defense or run, and then they implement it into their scheme. So it's a monkey see, monkey do, it's crazy how in the NFL it's the same thing, and then esports is the same thing. So yeah, that's something I like to say for sure. Get on Twitch and consume everything you can. Watch everything you can. Watch all the tournaments. Watch just behind the scenes stuff. And watch, and play. That's the 2 things I say to people who are trying to become Madden pros.
To get involved with the meta of the game and the feel and the flow. Like every title has a flow, right? And it's same thing with traditional side too. So again, like you just said, it's the same thing. So a couple questions we want to get to. Ryan, how you doing, man? Curious on what Pavan has done with your earnings, not to get personal, but did you reinvest into the brand, save or invest the money, use as living expenses? Anything you'd wish to kind of talk about on that? So however you want to navigate that question.
No, I could just answer it perfectly. So that question, I basically saved a lot of my earnings, and, slowly but surely I'm going to reinvest into myself now. This year has been a lot about my branding, and that's what I've decided to do a lot. Put some money into the branding, aka buy this stream setup, buy this computer, work on these content creations, and overall I've saved a lot of it, but definitely gonna look in to see what I could invest in. And I also like to say, like, I'm only 19, so I got a lot to learn about all this investing, and just obviously I know what it takes for myself in the Madden game, but there's a lot of things I know I could be doing with the money just to multiply it or whatever, but I'll learn that as the years go by. For now, Madden's my thing, content, and just overall expanding my brand, getting people to know who I am. One
thing I would say is take your time.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
And I know it's not the greatest answer that people want to hear, but man, just take your time. You're 19 years old, if you've got people are, I'm 33. So, and people look at me like, I've got a lot of time. Like, you're 19, you're 19 years old, man. So there's no need to rush anything, and that's when you make mistakes, is when you're going too fast. So that's probably one of the best things I could probably tell you, is when the biggest mistakes are made in haste.
And that's perfect.
Whether in business, or it just nothing. It really comes good out of haste. Maybe in the short term it might, but then longer term, to keep that up,
I won't be back there. Okay.
And we talk about burnout and things like that. But when you take things slower, it allows you to process it. So I think it's something to think about for sure. So any other comments on that as well, guys? Throw it in the chat, because I'd love to showcase that. And then Charles said, that sounds about right. You did that with FIFA of sorts. Yeah, we've got a lot of comments coming in here. Let me make sure we grab some of these.
For sure.
Armin, appreciate that. So Armin says that they started playing committed flag football and they started adjusting their game to look like top teams and got really competitive and started winning. It's learning from smart people. I think that's a really good comment.
Mm-hmm.
And they said the NFL is a copycat league.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You see Bill Belichick always finding these ways to play the game and do things that people are not, or combat those things, and then next thing you know, all the other teams are implementing in their scheme. So definitely.
So I had a question. So you're obviously representing the Raiders. Are you working with any other sponsors? How does that work?
As of right now, there's no sponsors, but I pray and fingers crossed in the coming months there's going to be some moves being made, some sponsorships, and me getting a good basis with the Raiders. But that's something it's kind of there already. But I'm gonna finger cross and just try to get that in paper basically. We'll see how it goes in the upcoming months for sure, because they did move to Las Vegas, and it's close to me, and we're just gonna see how it goes for there for sure.
Gotcha. Do you see sponsors coming into the Madden space? Is there talks? Like, obviously it's all such a new space, obviously, but I would say even more so with that title.
Yeah, there's already been some sponsors. There's some esports organizations already representing some players. 2 players to be specific is Skimbo. Skimbo is they call him like the new GO. He's definitely been on the MCS. MCS started in Madden 16. He's been the leader of money in the belts since then. So he has 3 belts. Skimbo is signed with Lazarus. They have a good contract, good sponsorships, all that good stuff. And then another player, his name is Dreeny. He's up there too. I would say he's the second best player right behind Skimbo in the MCS era. He has 2 belts. And, he's beating me in one of these Final 8s this year at the Madden 20 Club Series Championship. He beat me in the Final 8, and he's a great player. And, we kind of similar in our, age and, just how we came up both on PS4. We kind of played each other sometimes. It's just crazy. We were just like, I remember Madden 16, we're both just kids just playing the game on Twitch. And now he is signed to a team organization named Complexity. That's like a great deal, gaming organization, and he signed to Complexity, and Complexity has some ties with the Dallas Cowboys, so there's already a team. The NFL, it's already the integration is already there, so I'm sure more teams and more players are going to be there in the coming months and years. So
I do see Madden and Smash. So my brother's a Smash. We talked about that, but my brother's a Smash player, melee player, and top 80, 70 in the world roughly. And I see it very similar. I think they're both undervalued. Now, by how much, I have no idea. It's very hard to say. Like one
it's hard to see all those numbers and all that. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
it's impossible to say how undervalued a scene is, but it's almost a feel thing.
Yeah,
it's an awareness thing. But complexity is smart. I mean, right, coming in, and then Jerry Jones knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
so, right. Yeah. So you're going to see more. Like there is no question. You're going to see more orgs get involved into Madden space. Like I don't think that's a statement that really can't be refuted.
Yeah,
in my opinion. And I see Madden very similar to Smash, as Smash has been undervalued. And Smash came out just a couple of days ago. My brother is on. Dude, he is so excited about the Smash World Tour. They just announced it was probably the biggest announcement.
Something, or what is it?
What's that?
Is that a new game, Smash World Tour? Or
it's for Smash Melee and Ultimate, but it's a tournament series, an international tournament. Do you know that when you announce something like that, it's
that's huge news. That's great news. That's great news.
Huge. And we've been pumping Smash. Like, why aren't people looking at Smash more and all that? And then all this comes out. Like, it's going to happen, guys.
It's just destined. Like, I feel like talking about it like that is just going to happen, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. But again, culture shifts take time.
Of course.
With any kind of market, things take time, and it's about people will not invest money or their time unless they understand it.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
Things about markets. But yeah, go ahead.
Esports, it's going to take a little bit of time. I mean, but it's just the beginning. Like one time I was talking to my friend Sahil. We compared this. We were in just a car. We were talking. I compared it like esports right now is kind of like 100 years ago, whenever the NFL started or these sports started. At first, I'm sure the turnout already, it's like, it's crazy. Like the amount of players that are playing it. but it's just starting up. Basically, I believe it just started barely in like 2013, 2011, 2010. But it's only been 10 years at max compared to, like, let's just go back 100 years ago when the NFL or when all these football leagues started. They were wearing pigskin helmets, and or they're using these helmets, leather helmets, and pigskin balls. So it definitely, look at where it's at now. So this is just the beginning for sure.
Right, and just like back then, there were a lot of issues.
Yeah, of course.
A ton of issues, and
I feel like esports right now is like way more involved. Of course, obviously more involved, but like they have already a way better start than back then. They like you said, a ton of issues, whether it was just people getting hurt or whatever it was. There was no quote unquote NFL at that time when it started, compared to now. It's there's already some leagues and all that type of thing.
Right. In the space, esports space will sort itself out. We've talked about on here about valuations and how things need to consolidate a little bit in certain air pockets. There's some, inflated pockets and valuations on teams, which we really won't dive into too much today. But, it's going to be a consolidation, but leagues have done this before. This isn't anything new. Like, industries do this over the course of history. This is how it works. So it's just something to keep in mind. You look at history, like it's awesome. At 19 years old, you're looking at history. That's awesome. That you're able to say that, because history can teach you so much. Not exactly what's going to happen, right? But it potentially can rhyme as to what happened in the past. So I very much believe in that, and having that perspective will really help on the individual level for what you're doing, and then like the bigger picture as well. So Landon went on to say complexity has been pretty forward thinking with regards to performance coaching and sports psychology, which is awesome as well. So there's things that certain organizations are more forward looking than others. It's really interesting to see what they're adopting and what they're not adopting. But I just see Madden being a scene that is going to continue to trend up. Again, it's more of a similar feeling with not just, and I'll talk about Smash a lot, but just the fighting game community as well. They're kind of, I think they've been overlooked from the I wouldn't, mainstream, not the right word, but people getting involved that may not intimately know esports. Yeah, it's more of it's very top heavy. I feel like esports is very top heavy, the industry, some parts of it, and there's other scenes that have been overlooked, and that just seems like Madden is kind of the same thing. Mm-hmm. Any more questions, guys? Go ahead and jump in. We've got a few more minutes here. I really appreciate y'all diving in, asking questions in the comments. Really do appreciate it. We've got some on YouTube. Let's see, Julio's got another question. What was your favorite play that you didn't think you could pull off against who?
So there, I'm gonna nominate two plays. One play was when I was playing Joke. It was in the round of 8. It was 16-14. I was winning, but he was in field goal range and time was running out. There was around 3 minutes left, a couple first downs, and he would kick 3 or get 7, try to play defense because he's a defensive player. And it was 3rd and 10. And I'm sure you've seen this play already. If you guys haven't, then I'm sure if you ask me, I could find you this play. It's on YouTube. Just type in Joke versus Pavan. It was 3rd down and 10, and he had made a pass to the far sideline. He was just trying to get some sideline yards, get out of bounds, maybe get a first. And I had my player in a specific coverage that usually doesn't play this zone. It's like 50-50. But I guess like the player just made an amazing play. It was Ronnie Lott, and he got this interception. He made the interception, and he ran it back for 6, basically sealing the game, because I was up 16-14, and he was already in like the 25 to 30 yard line. So this was like around a 70-yard pick 6, and then got the points. And then scored the 7 and ended up going up by 9. And if you guys know common football is you need 8 points at max. You could score 8 points at max. So basically that game was sealed, and I was so hyped. I got up, I started yelling because at this time I wasn't, I was on the best of terms with this guy. It was not like no beef type of thing, but our crew wasn't really that friendly with their crew. So this was kind of like, let's go, I'm doing this for my crew type of thing. And I got up, started capping, and just like that inner lion, the inner competitive. Yeah. You have to see this play. I'll show you this play for sure.
Yeah.
And for sure. The second play was I was in the championship game, and I think I was up either 7-0 at this time or 10-0, and I had the ball, and everything was going groovy. It was like a 3rd and 2, and instead of trying to get those 2 yards and move the chains, I was thinking to go deep, and he had no plans of guarding any. Well, he had a couple plans. He tried to guard it, but I hit him with a play that he hadn't seen the whole tournament. And what basically ended up happening is I was able to get a free release on the sideline, and I hit him for like a 50, 60-yard touchdown dot on 3rd and 2. So this was just like, it was like a backbreaker. Like, oh my God, I wasn't thinking that you're going to go deep on 3rd and 2. And the announcers got into it, and it was just a great play.
Dude, the meta in the game is crazy. And again, I don't play Madden anymore. What's my extent of Madden, playing Madden back in the day, was like 95 or 96 when Dion, I think it was 95. I think Dion was on the Falcons. And I just substitute Dion and like a quarterback blitz him all the time because he had a 99 ratings.
Yeah.
I would just pick
99 speed and all that. Yeah, Dion was super fast. Dion is still a like player everyone uses today. It's crazy. These legends, they're in the Madden Ultimate Team. Whether it's from 95 to 2015 Madden, basically they're in the game forever. Basically,
that's crazy. It's like immortalizing him in the game.
Yeah,
cool.
Basically.
That's awesome. Yeah, so that's my extent of especially Madden 95, 96 was like the 2 years I played a ton of. It's just so much fun, just so many fun. And then like funny things like the start button laterals it. I remember back in the day on Genesis with lateral it, and we would do these weird lateral plays and
just have fun. Man. I do that too a lot, man. It's not always I gotta lock in and have fun. Sometimes I'm over here doing trick plays, lateral.
Okay.
Getting sticky as in trying to like on the stick, like I'm trying to make people miss with just the sticks, not the juke button or the spin button. It's just like having highlight plays like that, swerving in and out of defenders, just having monster touchdown runs. I have a few on my Instagram page, Pavan Lakhat. I have a specific one, Lamar Jackson, just scoring a 70-yard touchdown, just nasty.
That's crazy. And then there's also, you make any content for TikTok?
We haven't started that. We have probably like one. I definitely have a lot of clips I could post and get some views on it.
Yeah.
It's just more of like finding that right music to go along with it. And we've been on a lot of other things, but yeah, TikTok is a good page to, just get viewers from here to there and, just post fun and like really cool clips. So I'm definitely going to be on that for sure.
Yeah, and the only reason I think that, my mind just goes because I'm on there quite a bit or whatever. And Chad Johnson, there's a play that's like it's like the third most watched esports TikTok out there, and it's Chad Johnson. Yeah, it was Chad Johnson. It was like 3rd and 10. I forgot who was playing who, but it was for the belt. I'm pretty sure it was for the belt or it was for some championship. And then he ran like a 50-yard touchdown on 3rd.
Oh, was it with Cris Johnson?
I'm sorry, Cris Johnson. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Chad Johnson. That was Voltrex. He actually won the Madden 20 club championship. You know how Drini knocked me out? Drini was in the finals of that, and Volt ended up winning. So this is probably like 3 months ago. Yeah, I was there, and it was insane. Yeah.
So they made that into a TikTok.
Yeah.
It's gotten like 4 million views.
Yeah, as it should. That play was insane.
It's the run music. Run. And he takes off. It was hilarious. Anyway,
man.
Yeah. So
that's why TikTok's so fun. You could just make whatever you want to make out of it, whether it's funny, whether it's serious, whether it's just get hype, it's whatever type of content you want to create. That's all yours.
Right. And again, they got like 3 or 4 million views.
It's nuts.
Not 300,000 or 30,000.
Yeah,
3 million. So it's crazy. Well, very cool. I'm going to grab a couple more questions here. Wendy says, congrats on your victory. Appreciate the insightful views on the Madden community. Save your money. We'll get you set up with some lit streaming gear.
Huh.
That was from Wendy.
Yeah. Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Sahil, thanks. Saying loving the podcast so far. Let me hop over to, we have got multiple platforms going.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, you know how it works.
Okay. Yeah.
Trying to grab some questions.
Jacob.
Shiv, how's it going, Shiv? How you doing? Shiv says, let's see. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I'll get you on that. I feel like there was one other I skipped over here. Sorry, guys, if I skipped over some of these questions. Ryan had that great question about winnings. I do want to get to – or no, Andre. So Andre says, greetings from the Netherlands. So he said Madden's not very big in the Netherlands, but he was asking how popular is the game outside of the U.S.? Do you have any insight on that?
Outside of the U.S., I wouldn't say it's that popular because if you think about it, there's no football leagues outside the NFL, outside the USA. They have like rugby and, the majority, that's where FIFA is so big out of the U.S. It's big in the U.S. and it's big out the U.S. But as for Madden, I don't believe it's bigger outside the U.S. Probably maybe Canada might be pretty big. Canada, I'm sure, is big because there's a Buffalo Bills, and Canadians probably watch football as well. But I'm sure just the U.S. and Canada are the main sources of Madden, and anywhere else, I doubt it would be popular.
Wait, I'm gonna give you about a minute. Where can people get connected to you? I know you have a vlog and things like that. So how can we get connected to you on social?
Okay, so basically, like you said about the vlog, we have a bunch of great content, in real life vlogs as well as Madden gameplays. It's on Pavan space Lakhat, Pavan Lakhat. That's my YouTube. As for my Twitter, Instagram, and all that good stuff, it's the same thing except there's no space. So Pavan Lakhat, Pavan Lakhat. On there, I'm posting just basically the same types of things I'm posting on my YouTube. But if you guys could check my YouTube out, check my Instagram out, check my Twitter out, give me a follow. I'll more than likely give you a follow back. And just if you like what I do and want to support, I appreciate any and all types of supporters. I'm about to live stream on Twitch in a little bit. My Twitch is Pavan Lakhat, same thing, Pavan Lakhat. I'm probably gonna be playing some Madden. If you got some questions, you want to watch me play some Madden, feel free to, man. And thank you for having me on this podcast. This was a very good podcast, and it was honestly very fun. We connected on a lot of things. Like you said, the sports and the esports, it's the same thing, and just a bunch of other topics that were great topics, great questions. And thank you for everyone tuning in and all the questions that were being asked.
So go follow him right now. I went ahead and typed it into LinkedIn to follow him on those platforms. And again, especially even if you don't play Madden, here's the thing: even if you don't play, you need to learn about it.
Yeah,
it's part of the space. It's part of the conversations. Again, you don't have to be, there's no way. And it's funny. I talked to someone earlier today. It's impossible to be an expert on every single game. It's not possible.
Yeah.
And I was like, the only expert in every single game out there is some AI that isn't even built yet.
Yeah, I know, 100%.
So you don't have to. You can't spend 95 hours in a day, because there is no 95 hours in a day, right? So, but at least just understanding like the nuances of the game and the community a little bit. I do think there's something to be said about that.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Like you said, growing up, everyone thought they could play every single video game, but then as time goes by, they've specialized in that one video game. Madden's been that video game for me, and it's gonna be that video game for me. Thankful for everything Madden's done for me, and I'm thankful for the more opportunities that come of Madden. So shout out.
All right, so here's something I would like to do. I haven't even told you this yet, so it's a little scary. But for you, I would love to do a live stream with you at Madden 95, Madden 96. We'll pick one.
I would be down. What consoles are on that? What consoles are on Madden 95 and 96?
What's that?
What consoles do you have to get the Madden 95, Madden 6?
It'll be an emulator. We could do some type of like online emulator or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would be down to do that.
That'd be so much fun, dude.
Yeah.
Do the little vintage.
You would probably school me if I'm not.
I don't know. As long as I got Dion, man. As long as I got Dion quarterback blitzing on the edge, man. That's all.
Yeah, no. That was a great idea. My friend was actually talking Shiny Instinct, my friend Jacob. We were gonna play some Madden 08 one day and maybe make a YouTube video of it. But yeah, that's a great idea. Just hit me up on LinkedIn or just whatever. We got all my platforms. I follow you back on the platform. So that'll be a great stream possibility for sure. That's a great idea, man. Thinking outside the box. That's something I can support, and I love when people do that.
Well, we get everybody in the LinkedIn community get involved. So
yeah, for sure. For sure.
We'll definitely do that. So, well, again, guys, thanks for all the questions. Thanks for the comments. Really appreciate it. It really does make the show when you guys jump in. So I really do appreciate it on all platforms. Pavan, thank you so much for what you do. What I'm going to try to do to close is this. I'm going to try to share my screen, and I'm going to do the last minute of when you won the 2019 club championship. I think if we're okay with that.
Yeah, that's an amazing idea, man.
I think we're going to end it like that and then go from there. So I do need to try to pull this up, have this shared to where they can see this. I hope this works. This is live. So, live stuff.
Yeah.
How it goes. So we're going to try to do this and show the last minute. I'm going to click a couple buttons here because I really want you guys to see this. Share entire screen. All right, give me 1 second and we're going to play this.
There it goes. It's crazy how I was on ESPN and everything. Man, right here, I didn't even know where to go, and I was hyping up the crowd. Wow, man. Wow. This is just insane. Insane, man. I was trying to walk off the stage, but I actually had to stay on the stage. So you see me, this is a commissioner, Matt Marcoux. That's the belt right there. I was walking off the stage. I had no idea where to go. I ended up coming back, shaking his hand. I was a little cringy right there, but it's all good. Hold that belt up, man. And they got actually like a great picture. I know I sent that to you. They say like that's one of the best pictures. I kissed the belt a couple of times, man. That's my destiny, man. I was so speechless, man. I was just taking it all in. The confetti was flying. I'm like, where's this confetti coming from?
Yeah, that confetti is awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. There's just that's a memory for a lifetime right there, man.
All right. Well, I hope that worked out. I haven't done that before yet. So
that was well. There's just no audio, but that went well. That's why I was kind of commentating over it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Thanks for doing that. Again, appreciate you guys. Thanks so much, and we'll see you all in the next one. Thanks, Pavan.
Thank you.
See you, man.